Hi everyone. For those of you who have been here for some time, I have talked about my weight loss journey and how I went from 100 kg to currently I last weighed myself last week and I was at 56 kgs. Okay. Now, here's one thing I've not really talked about when it comes to my weight loss. I have PCOS, and as a woman, if you have PCOS, weight loss naturally is going to be a problem. Okay. And personally, for me, I had to change my diet, and these are the foods that I had to avoid completely. The foods I'm about to mention, I did not touch them the first 3 years when I had started my weight loss journey. So the first 3 years of my weight loss journey, I avoided these foods. You can also do your research. Please do your research as well. Don't just go by what I say. Do your research so you educate yourself on some of these things. So personally, I had to educate myself and realize that it was more of a food thing, okay? So the food you eat when you have PCOS is going to affect your weight loss. So if you have PCOS and you're trying to lose your weight, here are the foods you are going to avoid. Fried foods. That is fried chicken, fried fish, fried chips, avundazi, mandazi, they will have to go. I'm not saying you can't eat fish. You can eat fish. It can be grilled, oven baked. You can eat chicken, but it cannot be fried. You cannot eat KFC. Personally, I'm not a big fan of junk food, so that was easy for me, all right? Saturated fats. These are things like butter and margarine. Now, what are you going to replace this with? Olive oil, simple as that. Even when I bake cake, on days I feel like I want cake, I'm going to use olive oil. I simply use olive oil instead of butter. And I still apply all these things into my life, into my diet, even after losing the weight, because I have PCOS. So if I backtrack, I'm going to gain the weight very fast, okay? And it is really hard to lose the weight, okay? Another thing is red meat. Simply avoid red meat, either boiled or whatever. Simanya tutokose, akontokose, you'll have to step away from it, at least initially, okay? I'm not saying you have to completely cut them out, but personally, I cut all these things out, especially the first 3 years of my weight loss journey, okay? Cereal, cornflakes, Cocoa Puffs, all that. Personally, I've never been a fan of cereal because I'm a very fruit breakfast person, okay? Same thing with coffee, you have to avoid it. I had to get off coffee for 4 years, okay? I actually started drinking coffee last year, all right? White rice, I started to eat white rice last year as well. Refined flour, rindazi, udadizi, biscuiti, all have to go. You have to just take a step. Personally, right now, I still don't eat them, but when I do, it's occasionally, okay? Like on family lunches, on Christmas or Easter, when we have family lunches, definitely I go ahead and indulge myself, okay? Because now I've lost the weight, I got the results, so I don't restrict as much. I still restrict myself, but not as much, okay? Alcohol, another one is alcohol. And this is crazy when I tell people this, that I went for 4 years without drinking any alcohol, without alcohol in my system. And that's the only way I was able to lose my weight. Another thing, sugary substances, beverages, soda, or you might call it pop from where you come from. Anything that is highly processed and filled with sugar. If you have PCOS and you're trying to lose weight, you'll have to cut it out. Generally, anything overly processed, will have to take a step back. If you want to really eat rice, go for brown rice, something with high fiber. If you want a cookie, go for an oat cookie, okay? Personally, I do bake my own oat cookies, and instead of butter or margarine, I use olive oil, okay? The fruits you should avoid. I know this is crazy, but when it comes to PCOS, there are fruits that are just not eat, okay? Melon. And this shocked me. Melon, pineapples, bananas, and oranges. Avoid them, okay? Again, do your research. Personally, these are the things I had to completely, utterly cut out. Did I talk about coffee? Yes. I cut out coffee completely as well. So for the first 3-4 years. When I started my weight loss journey, I had to completely cut these things out. And of course, I was working out. I didn't start out with intensive workout, okay, because my body wasn't used to it. So I would go for morning runs, evening walks, okay. And I started out with yoga as well. Yoga helped me in the beginning, okay, but now I am lifting. And I continue to apply these rules and these restrictions when it comes to food in my daily life, okay. And I've been able to maintain my weight, healthy weight, okay, because I'm not too skinny. Okay, yeah, I am skinny compared to when I was 100 kgs, okay, and it helps keep the kilos off. You can tell I got these, I got these a week ago, and already they are loose, okay. You can tell they're very, very extremely loose, okay. So for those of you who are struggling losing weight, who struggle with losing weight because you have PCOS, I'm an example that you can lose the weight with PCOS. You just have to educate yourself on the condition and figure out what works for you, and your meal plans as well. Also, it is important the quantity of the food you eat, okay. Yes, the body is made on the plate. What are you putting on your plate and in what quantities, okay? So for those of you trying to lose weight with PCOS, you can't lose the weight and you can't keep it off, okay? I know it can be a very restrictive diet, but if you want results and you figure out a way to work around that, you'll get the results, okay? Yes, you don't have to totally cut it all. Actually, you just have to find substitutes to some of these foods. Instead of fried chicken, get something grilled, okay. Instead of butter, instead of margarine, use olive oil, all right. Personally, I wasn't big on meat, okay. Most of my protein actually was coming from plants. It was plant protein based for me when I was losing my weight. So I was doing things like groundnut stew. I'm Ugandan, so groundnut stew, very high in protein. Also beans as well, okay. Of course, I would occasionally throw in some fish, some chicken, and some salmon when I could get access to it. But that's what has helped me lose my weight with PCOS and keep it off, okay. Best of luck.